And the Christian worldview. Psychology is probably one of the most misunderstood subjects as far as a Christian is concerned. Some go so far to say that psychology is a divine science. Others go to the extent of saying that psychology is a satanic subject. I think the truth is somewhere in between. It's true, psychology in the hand of Satan is much abused. Psychologists try to give a pseudo satisfaction to the troubled soul. They do not treat the disease, but they treat the symptoms. This is a major problem. A man has a mind, and that mind is so important. We can never overlook the mind of man. Its capacity is so great. I often think of this passage in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verses 7 through 10. It doesn't talk about psychology as such, but there is a lot of psychology in it. The basic needs of the man is presented there by Solomon the wise. The passage says, "Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart. For God now accepteth thy works. Let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity, which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity. For that is the portion in this life, and thy labor which thou takest under the sun. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest." Lot of psychology is there, lot of spirituality is there, everything is there. What is essentially human life? Solomon summarized it very nicely. Human life is a life where meaningful fulfillment in the physical, in the mental, in the spiritual, in the social avenues of our life. That's what it is. That's what true biblical psychology aims at. True biblical psychology does not aim only at solving your mental problem, because you can never separate the mind from the spirit or the body. They are interlocked. They have their distinct identity, and yet in that identity they overlap each other, and they are interlocked. You cannot take one out without disturbing the other. So Solomon says what? Eat thy bread with joy, drink thy wine with a merry heart. Isn't that psychology? Enabling a person to eat and to drink with a merry heart. That's the most of the people who go to mental hospital. What's their complaint? They are not joyful. They cannot take their food joyfully. No, they are disturbed people. But here says that eat your food with joy, drink your wine with a merry heart. How you get it? Solomon gives the reason. What is the reason? The reason is the spiritual. For God now accepteth your work. See that? When a person comes in harmony with God and he understands that God has accepted my work, that means I am in good harmony with my God. What I am doing is well pleasing to God. Then naturally he can eat and drink very well. When your work is not accepted by God, that means you are not in harmony with God. When you are not in harmony with God, your eating and drinking, everything is disturbed. Even your digestive system is disturbed very much. Actually, whenever you have a mental problem, you have a spiritual problem, the first system that is affected is the digestive system. The neurological system, the cardiological system, all the urological system, they are all. But first the digestive system, you feel, gastric problems comes in, you feel your appetite is gone, you cannot digest food, you don't have a taste for food. So that interlinking, you eat well, you can eat joyfully because God is pleased in you. You cannot eat well if God is not pleased in you. So where will you put your emphasis? On eating or on pleasing God? Pleasing God. Once you please God, eating comes naturally. That may be the reason why all the Christians have pot bellies and, obesity more than others, because they know that God is pleased, so they can eat more and digest more. You look at the pastors and missionaries and all, they all have this problem, A merry heart is definitely, then he says that let their garments always be white. So that's, that's a cleanliness, sanitation. That's related to health, right? Clean clothes, absolutely necessary for good health. Because the cloth is a carrier of a lot of our bacteria and all. As we move around, it carries. So people naturally say that don't sleep in your day clothes in the night, because your day clothes are all filled with a lot of bacteria from your workplace, from traveling, rubbing with people and all that. So the psalmist says, Solomon says that let your clothes be always white means clean. That's what it is. The idea of being white is being clean. Let it be clean always. Keep your clothes clean. Among all the religious people of the world, I think after the Muslims, probably the Christians are the cleanest. Muslims, you go to Arab countries and other countries, you won't see a Muslim not in pure white clothes. I was surprised. Always. They were real, white clothes. I think they have a sense of cleanliness, at least externally. I don't know, not at the back in their home, I don't know how they are. Their clothes are only up to the ankle, it never goes below, at least 6 inches, above your feet, because it never should touch the ground. That's the Shariat rule, is that your clothes should never touch the ground. The men. They're clean people. We have our pants or our, dhoti or whatever is, using as a broom. Wherever we go, we just sweep it around. Very unclean. The Hindus are probably the dirtiest people in the world. Pardon me, in India at least. Because you look at their monks and sannyasis, what do they have? Hair, they don't cut the hair and all that, and they put all these things, whatever he's putting on. And you go to the temple is the dirtiest place. It's all oily, it's all powder, it's all smoke. Look at the temple pond, the water is green, the algae grows there. They bathe their elephants there, buffaloes there, women wash their clothes there, men bathe there, brush their teeth, spit it back into, and then, all these things. Yeah, Ganga Jal is the dirtiest Jal again. Ganga is the dirtiest river. And all these rivers are dirty. Isn't that sad? Dr. K.N. Nambiripal once said, I remember him saying that, you think the Brahmin people are the cleanest. I tell you, I'm born a Brahmin and they are the dirtiest people in the world, he said that. Because for all these pujas they use things, it's all smoke and oil and everything, everything. As I said, that look at a priest, Roman Catholic priest, and look at a Hindu priest. You can see the difference. You can visit the temple and you can visit the church building. There's so much difference. Cleanliness is next to godliness. That was not said wrongly, it was said rightly. It's coined by Christians. Cleanliness. That's why you read through the book of Deuteronomy and the book of Exodus and Leviticus. How many times it is said that your camp has to be clean. Rules concerning taking bath, washing the clothes, eating the food, everything. Everything, So the thing is, this is all psychological. This is all it's all related to psychology. Cleanliness is part of psychology, Unless your mind is clean, your body cannot be clean. And let me reverse. Unless your body is clean, your mind cannot be clean. Yes. Yes, you could be clean in the body and unclean in the mind. I don't rule it out, because all clean people are not clean inwardly. They are sinners. But yet, it's a comparative way of saying that the clean people are more cleaner. Then it says, let thy head lack no ointment, Today's young people don't put any more ointments. Divine wisdom is rejected. You take any standard, health books, they'll say that anointing your head with oil is good. After all, that's what Psalm 23 says. He anoints my head with oil. Let not oil lack. It's good. You can prevent a lot of gray hair and baldness, and prevent a lot of other diseases. Of course, here the ointment may be medicine. Whenever you are sick, take medicine. That could be. I don't know. But again, it's all psychology. Then say that, live joyfully with the wife of your youth, all your days of life. That's your portion that say that, That again is psychology, the mental satisfaction. How can a married man be mentally strong and healthy if he is not happy with his wife? Lot of people commit suicide because of family problems. Lot of children suffer psychologically because the parents are separated, divorced, single family, and both parents, don't want them, and they are in there. So family life is so important. So what the Bible is saying that, psychology, there is a psychology. This is all the view of your psychology. Your mind ought to be occupied with the things that are profitable and good. Whether it is you are eating, you are drinking, your family life, anointing your head, wearing your clothes, and everything. It's all very important. Very important. And then says verse 10, whatever your hand findeth to do it with all might, means honesty in work. Honesty in work. You are a student, you study well. You are a worker, you work well. You don't need to be a slave to any system, but 8 hours of work, you do 8 hours of work. Whatever you do, you wanted to make a curry in the kitchen, do the best curry. Yes. I believe that all women need to excel in cooking. That's their part. A woman who pride that I don't know to cook is not, definitely not. She must be, because women need to be. Men ought to be doing their part of the job, Earning the bread is the duty of the man, not the duty of the woman. What you do is besides the point. But you earning, supporting, providing for the family, this is. So Solomon says, whatever you have an opportunity to do, you do it well. Anybody evaluating your work must say that excellent. You should always get an excellent. An excellent. So this is psychology. This is psychology. How to develop your mind. From childhood, parents need to develop the mind of their children in all these areas. There are 4 areas that are described here. In all 4 areas, parents need to develop their mind. Yes. It is discipline. Children should never be fed when they complain about food. Food should not be fed when they have complained. Because when you are upset, the stomach acids, lot of stomach acids, unnecessary hydrochloric acid and other things are pumped in, which makes you a nervous person. Your digestive system doesn't work properly, so never force the child. But I know that all mothers, including, in my family also, because children won't eat, so, they need to be forced. Then they cry because they don't like. And mother says children don't eat, but interestingly, You take the child and weigh him or weigh her, she is never underweight. The doctor says that, it's an imaginary problem. Your child is perfectly okay. Children doesn't eat very well, all mothers say, but they are so active. Where the energy come from? It can come only from food. If they are not eating, how can they? Yes. I heard mothers saying that children are very active. I wonder where they get this activity. Yes. How many hours they can run and climb and jump and, all these things. Where the energy come from? But they don't want food. Apparently they are getting something. So children should be taught to eat whatever they eat with a pleasant heart, with a grateful heart, from childhood on. Blessed is the child who drinks her milk or his milk with a smile on the face. And children should be taught to please God first. That's a fundamental foundation of all things, because God is placed in your work. Even mothers, before feeding the breast, the mothers have to pray. Ask the child, close the child, and then pray and then feed the child. Otherwise, you are teaching the child not the right thing. Everything, the discipline must be there. The discipline. Wearing the clothes. The child should have play clothes. Let them make the dirty. But play clothes should not be taken inside the bedroom and all. Play clothes should be taken out as soon as they come in. Once they take their shoes off, their dress off, put it there. The child should always maintain cleanliness. This is all. Cut their nails properly. Wash their hands, because they go outside and play with all the mud, and if nails are not cut, they come and eat something, The eggs of the worms and everything goes inside, and the child will have stomach pain, this pain, that pain, and all kinds of things. Mothers have to discipline them, train them up very, very rightly. Yes, very, very rightly. The same way, of course, family life is very important. They don't have husband and wife, but they'll need to live rejoicingly with their father and mother, with the siblings. That's training for a good family life begins at home. The children, there will be some sibling fight, because the Lord has put in them the craving for survival, to get it. So there will be some, but it has to be controlled by parents. It should never go beyond certain level, So children should learn to live harmoniously with the family, under the authority of the parents, under the care of the, love of the older siblings. They must extend their love to the younger ones. Respect for others. And so this is all part of, this is psychology, what I meant to say that. Bible does not say psychology under the heading, okay, psychology. No. The Bible is full of psychology. This is the way it says. When people have problems, psychological problem, mental problem, why do they have a mental problem? One of these principles have been broken. That's exactly. Either they are physically weak, they are eventually become mentally sick. Or they are not pleasing God. Their conscience is pricking them, and therefore they become guilty, and psychologically they go. Or because of, their family life not subjecting to the authority and the love of the parents and all that, therefore they suffer very much. Or that they are not studying their lessons very well. Whatever they are supposed to do well. They are not studying their lessons very well and all that. Therefore they suffer. In the young people, that is one. The older people also, that one. You show me a person who eats well, who is clean, who is spiritual, who has a good family life, and faithful in whatever he does. He never will have a psychological problem. Never will have. His mind will always be healthy and normal. He cannot have a psychological problem. Whenever psychological problem comes, these instructions given by the Holy Spirit are violated somewhere. Either the trouble comes from the work, or the troubles come from not caring your body in food diet and all that, eating, balanced food, not taking bath properly and all those kind of things. So this type of problems are always there. We need to be very, very careful. So the study of psychology is, it's not an optional. Every person needs to know how the mind works. How the mind works. We are so concerned about the sickness of the body, but we are not concerned about the sickness of the mind. Let me ask you plainly, which is more dangerous, sickness of the body or sickness of the mind? You would rather be comfortable in a general hospital, or you will be comfortable in a mental hospital? I believe that a lot of Christians, need to be sent to the mental hospitals because their mind is sick. They have a jealous mind, they have hatred, they have bitterness, unforgiving spirit. They don't have family life properly. So many areas. Is that a sign of a healthy Christian? No, it's a sign of mental problem. But some people get so proud, they talk about how he is angry with his neighbor and how righteous he is in that anger. I could never find a person who could be justified in his anger, unless it is against sin. Then he will do something about it. So psychology is very, very valid. So the great benefit of the study of the psychology is actually, it helps us to live a very balanced, normal life. My own understanding of psychology has helped me a whole lot. Whole lot, I became a lot more calmer and a lot more serene and a lot more happier because of my knowledge of psychology. Because when I begin to understand that I have a mind, which I unconsciously, everybody agree, but when consciously I begin to be aware that I have a mind and I need to feed my mind. Mind needs food just like your spirit needs food. For the spirit we read the Bible, we pray and we memorize scriptures and all that. That's spiritual food. For our body we eat, good food, protein and carbohydrate and, our vitamins and our minerals and all that we take in different forms. But when it comes to the mind, most people don't do anything. It's sad. What is the food of the mind? Your feelings, your willings, your cognition, your thinkings. So the faculty of your intelligence has to be constantly fed. You read good quality books so that your intelligence is provoked constantly to think better. Your emotion. We are a mine of emotions, we have all kinds of emotions. Loving, hating, getting angry, so many emotions. All these emotions need to grow, that need to be balanced. We need to know when to get angry and when not to get angry. How long to get angry and how long not to get angry. We need to know what is love and what is not love, what is hatred and what is not hatred. So we need to, go to a garden, see the flowers, see paintings. Maybe sometimes you have to visit art gallery or a studio. Sometimes you have to go to the seaside, see the waves and the fishes and pick up pebbles and shells and all that. You have to go to a zoo and see the animals. Sometimes in the middle of the night you have to get down and lay down flat on your terrace and look at the stars and wink at them as they wink at you, and sing that old song, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, You need to have animals, pets, where you pet with them and you play with them. You need to have all these things. You need to have, that means your mind. Excuse me. ബിജോയ്, ഞാൻ ഒരു ക്ലാസ് എടുത്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. കുറച്ച് 2 മണിക്കൂർ കഴിഞ്ഞ് വിളിക്കാമോ? ഓക്കെ. So we need the mental, Lot of people don't do anything. They only eat and they only study. What about your mind? That's why I said a lot of people get angry unreasonably. Unreasonably they get angry. Angry at their children they get, angry at their wife they get, angry at their friends they get, at brothers, sisters. And some people say that we are, as a family we are short-tempered people. Oh, good. It's like saying that as a family we got, cancer or we got leprosy or something. If that's the case, then you won't tell anybody as a family we have, You'll try to hide it. No, mental problem is a big problem. Sometimes you can see the tantrum of the children when you rebuke them or, stop them from doing something that is not right. How do they respond? Our children should respond, thank you dad, thank you mom. That's all. When you say rebuke them and stop doing it, thank you, I will. That's it, but that's not the way there is, They want something, some cookies or some candy bars or something, if you don't give, there is a fight with the mother, And usually the child wins. Yeah. This is all problem. This is all signs of mental problems, the mental agony and mental problem. So we need to study psychology. That's what I might say that, So why study psychology? Some people say that why? All that you need is to read a psalm every morning and you will be all right. I say, no, you will not be all right. I guarantee you will not be all right. A psalm in the morning is not. The Bible has 66 books. Psalms are devotional books. That's like your, carbohydrate. Your protein comes from by reading some of the heavy stuff. The muscles are built by strong exercise. You need the epistles and you need, heavier books. And for your beauty, you need vitamins. So you need to have something more than Psalms. For resistance of diseases, you need minerals. The calcium and iron and the zinc and all those things, those deficiencies make you a sick person. So you need, the Bible contains them all. So don't be satisfied only by Psalm. A lot of people have read only Psalms in many, many years, believers. Proudly they say that I have not yet read the Old Testament. Oh, you haven't? So I guess you are not a believer? Oh no, I am a believer. Then why? You are an unhealthy person. So this is the reason why we say that really only a Christian psychologist can handle the problems of a person. A secular psychologist cannot handle the problems. Whether he has a PhD or a postdoctoral degree, it doesn't matter. The secular psychologist cannot handle your problems rightly. Actually, the secular psychologist is not equipped adequately because he does not know what is man. He does not know. His definition of man is a social animal. He is treating an animal. You wanted to be treated as an animal? But all our children are taught man is a social animal. What do you mean by social animal? No, man is a social being. Man is a social being. He is a social person. He has a personality. He not only has a physical body and a principle of life, no, he has a mind. A mind to think, a mind to feel, a mind to decide. A mind with self-consciousness, self-awareness, self-determination. You have a mind. That mind needs constant food, oiling, otherwise it will make unnecessary noise, greasing. You need to. So I recommend that as a family at least once in 2 weeks or make it once a month, take a day off. Take your family, go to the beaches, go to the gardens, go to the zoo, go to the park, go somewhere. Climb the mountains. Somewhere you go. Sit with them, talk with them. Sing some songs, watch some birds, look at some flowers, smell some flowers. Go to an aquarium and see what beautiful colors God has painted these fishes with. Just don't be always thinking about KFCs and McDonald's and all that. Man does not live by bread alone. He needs that. So we need a Christian psychologist only could help man honestly, because he only understands man. Man is a social being. He needs society. Social being means he's society. He needs fellowship. He needs communion. The cruelest thing somebody could do to man is a solitary confinement.